Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.
And a beautiful morning it is. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is, what day is it? Hump day? It's Wednesday? Yes, it is. It's Wednesday. And I tell you, let me say this first of all. Let me welcome you into a discussion today where I want you to always know that this is top of mind. That here, this is the place where you can have those difficult discussions and feel safe doing it. Also, here's a place where we like to keep the community inclusive. We want to hear what you're thinking so that we can put our thoughts together. I believe collectively, if we put all of our resources, there's nothing that we can't do in a positive way. And today is not going to be any different. But first of all, let me say this. If you are on the freeway anywhere near, I believe that's because of the base center has been opened up for the people that's been evacuated from South Florida that's coming in for safety. Let's not forget to pray for those who are going through something that we've already experienced. We know what it is in a time such as it is there. They've been hit twice and now coming with a hurricane that winds up to 160 miles per hour already. You don't just think about that. They even got to get over what they just got over with just a few days ago. I believe in prayer, and I believe that we need to pray for those that are in need that are coming into our city. So let's make them as comfortable as possible during this time. And today we've got a guest that we all know that's been here working with us for many, many years. I know I met her long time ago, Miss Cannada-Wynn. She has been with the council for 14 years or more. She is an educator for 27 plus years. I mean, come on. She does everything when it comes to knowledge, and now she's out there volunteering and working for the Harris campaign. All I gotta say is, Miss Cannada-Wynn.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for allowing me to be here this morning. I have on my work uniform.
There you go, girl.
We got to work. Every minute is a work minute.
It is. It is work.
And so just thank you for having me on. And I just want to tell the citizens of Pensacola, I just want to let them know thank you. Thank them for allowing me. I'm their servant.
Exactly.
I've been a servant in the military as well as education.
Right. I just learned that today.
And as well as city council. So I just want to thank the city of Pensacola, and Escambia County for allowing me to be a servant.
That's right.
And teaching and training and molding me to be who I am.
And a woman that has lots of respect. I mean, respect. People here respect what you do, and they respect you because of your work record that has proven to be all for Escambia County. And it's a great thing because, sometimes they say one thing and do another. I'm just being real.
We just got to be real.
We got to be real now.
But I am who I am. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say.
There you go. Well, I want to say, first of all, for you to get up and with all that you already do, that you're out there knocking on doors, walking around, talking to people, trying to make sure that they are ready, because we have, 28 days? 27 days.
27 days.
27 days before Election Day. And this is no joke.
It is not a joke. And it's the importance of the vote. Right now, I have some bad knees, but I'm going to be able to drive people to the polls because it's about the vote.
Exactly.
It's about the vote. We have a headquarters.
Yeah. Opened up this past weekend, right?
Opened up this past weekend. We have a headquarters. It is at 8800 North University Parkway.
Okay.
And once you pass the hospital emergency entrance, you go down about 1.5 miles and you go take a right on Constitution.
Right.
And we have signs that's going to lead you there.
That's right.
We have a phone number, which is 850-631-1682. You can call us. And we are looking for volunteers.
Oh, good.
We're looking for volunteers. And the enthusiasm. See,
something went through when you said that.
It's contagious.
Yes.
It is that enthusiasm of we have to make sure that we have a country that people are going to respect and do respect. We are the greatest country in the world.
Say it again. I tell you,
United States of
America.
We are the greatest country in the world. We have the greatest military in the world. And
we live in a military town.
And we live in a military town. So people need to stop thinking that.
That's
and
right.
So the Harris campaign is about that hope.
Exactly.
Making sure that people know and understand who we be as Americans.
Right.
And the number one validation of democracy is the vote.
That's it.
You cannot stay home.
That's right.
You got to get out.
Absolutely. And I tell you, I cannot say that strongly enough because there have been so many people, I'm undecided, I'm not going to, and let's talk about this. So many people tell me, well, I'm not going to vote at all. you've already voted. When you don't vote,
When
you've
you don't
already
vote,
voted.
You already vote when you don't vote.
Right.
It is important that you vote because that's how democracies work.
Right.
If you do not vote, you will have fewer and fewer people making decisions for you.
That's right.
And then you turn around and say, I don't like that decision. The government is not doing this. But you're not exercising the number one thing that you need to do, and that is to vote.
And if you want to change it, that's how you change
And that's
it.
how you change it. And of course, we know that we had a city council race 4 years ago that was determined, I think, 3 or 4 votes?
Yes.
3 or 4
That's
votes.
what I'm talking about.
Every vote counts. Every vote counts. Your voice counts. And I'm going to be real here.
Please.
I have been in environments at meetings where people say they don't vote for me or they don't come out to vote. Okay? So people look at the voting numbers.
Right.
You know, individuals look at the voting numbers. Who go out to vote? What age group go out to vote?
Oh, that's all broken down.
So it's already broken down. So when people get ready to make decisions about things, they don't necessarily. I made decisions about, because when I became a public servant, I became a public servant to all.
Amen.
And because you are in a nonpartisan race, you don't have this breakdown of whether or not it's a Republican idea or a Democratic idea. It's about serving the people.
Exactly.
And I have learned that
Yeah,
you serve the people. I've learned that the issues about serving the people, and I don't care if we don't like it, I'm going to make a decision about how I'm going to serve the people.
Right.
But in other segments of politics, that is not necessarily the case.
We see that.
That is not necessarily the case. So vote. When I was a delegate.
I saw that. I saw you.
Oh, it was wonderful.
I wish I could have been there.
That was a bucket list. That was a bucket list. The enthusiasm, the power.
I could feel it through the TV.
You could feel the power. And we were all there, and we were all on one accord. When you are on one accord and you come together as one, there is nothing that we cannot do.
Say that. I say it every day.
There's nothing, one accord, nothing that you can't do. But you were also, it was also like a boot camp.
Right.
You got up 6:30 and 5:30 in the morning. You had to go pick up your credentials at 6:30. You had to have breakfast. You left breakfast. You had to go to your caucus or council meetings. After you did your caucus council activities, you had to get ready. You had to be ready to get on the bus. You had to go to the convention center. And you were home back at that hotel at 11:30, 12 o'clock. But it was wonderful, and it was worth it, and Chicago did itself proud. We enjoyed every minute of it. One of the ones that I went was to the National Democratic Black Caucus.
Right.
Okay, so one of the things that they made me, they talked about is the African American vote is a superpower.
Oh, come on. That's what people don't realize.
You are a superpower.
Why they want you to vote? Because there's got to be something behind it.
You are a superpower.
Absolutely.
You need to act like you're a superpower.
Exactly.
And so they talked about us acting like we are a superpower and coming together in unity. Unity, not just because of Vice President Kamala Harris.
Right.
Because this election will define America.
Yes, it will.
It could define the future of how we proceed as a democratic country.
Yes, it is.
And so they talked about we are a superpower. We need to act like a superpower.
Absolutely.
And take and go out to vote. They also asked that we get 1 million youth to go, 18-year-olds, to go out and vote. So everybody, if you got a child that's 18 years old in your home, they need to go vote.
Most certainly.
Now, like in my house, you know, you didn't eat Sunday dinner at my house if you wasn't a voter.
Come on.
If you didn't go, I mean, I
love it. You don't eat here if you don't go vote.
You don't eat here if you don't vote. I don't want to hear you had this or you don't had that.
Right.
You got 10
Prioritize.
days. The priority is you're going to go and vote. And I tell people, when I voted, my first time voting in 1976.
Right.
I was 18 years old, and I was a student at Pensacola State, and they were 4-laning Highway 29 all the way through up there. So it was a mess. It was raining. And we asked the bus driver, because they had a bus. We had a bus coming back and forth. Are you going to be able to get us to Century at 7 o'clock? Because there was no early voting then, you know. And
really?
The only reason that you could vote by ballot at the time if you were disabled or out of the country.
Right.
So it was not like it's
So you
uniform
had to go.
now. So you had to go to the voting. And I remember, we were asking, are we going to be able to go vote? We're going to miss it and everything. So he got us there like 10 minutes, 6:10. And it was raining. I didn't care if I had to go in the mud and go on the side of the road. It was important because it was important to my mother, who was not able to vote.
Exactly.
When was denied voting. And my godmother.
Exactly.
And my godmother was born in 1890.
Come on.
And she knew the time periods when we could not vote, where people had to die to go to the polls and vote, subject to humiliation and denied their rights. And they're going to raise children that don't go vote.
Come on.
That was not happening in our household. We raised our children and our children's children to talk about, you are going to vote. This is your power. You exercise that power and you go and vote.
And you know what? That's happening even right now because we're having to see now, we need to go back to that philosophy.
Yes.
Just what you talked about. Because I see and I hear so many young people, they're not, you know, it's not important to me. This is not going to affect me. Oh, yes, it will.
Oh, yes, it will. It will affect you. And so in the Kamala Harris campaign, some of the things that have happened, we have gotten a lot of volunteers, over 150,000 volunteers.
How many?
Over the state. Over the state. People are wanting to go. We at our campaign, you can do wave sign, you can do telephone call, but the most important thing is the canvassing. It's that door-to-door knock, not just mail drops.
Right.
Because mail, that's a different animal. Mail drops just drop off the mail to your door and hope you'll read it. But canvassing, that's not what canvassing does.
You're going to talk to me.
We're going to knock on that door and we're going to talk to you. And that's one of the things that's so very important in elections, even whether it's a national election or local election. You need to understand where people are coming from.
Absolutely.
Because they want to feel that their vote's going to count.
No doubt.
And they also want you to listen to them and listen to make sure that they do. So the Florida Kamala Harris campaign has really taken off. Our office has taken off. We have volunteers coming, as well as Republicans.
Right.
Republicans for Kamala Harris.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Well, hold that thought right there. We're going to come back and talk about that because what I'm feeling, and I'm sure that you're feeling the same thing. I said this even when I was watching the convention on TV, that it was just such a different vibe. I could feel the positivity that was just coming through the screen. So this is what we're saying, how important it is. She also said something we're going to talk about when we come back as well. But first of all, let me go on and thank our sponsors that's coming up for the breast cancer walk that's coming up on October the 26th. I tell you, it's going to be there at Seville Square, downtown Pensacola. We're going to kick off at 8 o'clock, so you need to be there a little bit earlier. That's when we're going to walk. But let me say thank you to Mr. Ron Helms. Thank you. He's right there with us. We've got Rise City Church there. We've got Sonny's Barbecue. And, of course, Starworth Insurance Company. Thank you so very much for being a part of this event. All we're trying to do is make a difference right here in Pensacola. Stay with us. Your Sunshine on Sunshine's Corner.
As we come upon this election, it's important for everybody to get out and vote. It is critical. Voting is the cornerstone of our democracy. It lends a voice to everyone, to the people, to make sure that America is the society that we want it to be, that everybody wants it to be. If you don't get out and vote, you really don't have anything to complain about. My name is Troy Rafferty, and I want to encourage everybody to just vote.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
I vote because my mother voted. She was 40 years old, and I was 20 when she first to vote. She said, Mamie Lee, take me to the registration office or wherever I need to go so that I can register to vote. So I vote for that reason, and I want everybody else to vote. Don't just talk, you gotta walk it like you talk it, and when you walk it, you are voting. So vote. I'm Mamie Webb Hickson, Director of the Writing Lab at the University of West Florida. Just vote.
It's the hardest conversation I have with patients, telling them that their baby won't make it. And now, because of Florida's extreme abortion ban, I also have to tell them I can't help. The ban forces women to wait until the brink of death to get care and could send doctors like me to prison just for treating my patients. That's terrifying. And it's why I'm voting yes on 4, to end the ban so government can't stop women from getting life-saving care.
And welcome back to the hottest spot in town. We're talking about nothing but Sunshine's Corner. Right here is where we have those conversations that you don't hear anywhere else. Right here is the place where you can talk about those difficult conversations and know that it is safe to do it. I want to encourage everybody, whether you are Republican or Democrat, if you're listening and viewing this show today, call in and talk to us. 850-432-7768. Let me hear your thoughts, because we're talking all about character, which we sometimes feel like the character has been lost. I just put on the back burner. And that's something else that I see that we've lost when it comes to this election. The character, the care. I mean, to me, it's like a third grader.
What has happened to the playbook? I want to know, because if I want to continue in politics, I want to know how the playbook done changed.
Exactly.
And so one of the organizations that I do work with, we talked about character. And we said, what type of leader do we want? In the most powerful country in the world.
That's right.
Has the most powerful military in the world.
Uh-huh.
Is the leader in economics.
Right.
What type of character do we want for that person? And so when we're looking at the vote, when you're talking just to the lay person, not just the people who've been involved in politics for a long time, because they already know.
That's right.
They already know. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to talk to that person who says, okay, how do I explain this person's leadership?
Right.
Because leadership matters.
No doubt.
Leadership matters. And in talking to different people, it was like, okay, will this person, and we can go ahead and say former President Trump, I mean, he gave me a few dollars. You know, he gave me a check.
Hear. Yeah.
He gave me a check. I said,
really?
Okay, really? And it was done by Congress. However, is it okay to throw away leadership skills?
For $1.
For $1. Is it okay to say that that person could be a convicted felon for $1?
For $1, no way.
Is it okay for a person to has questions about their aggressiveness and sexual
those innuendos that they do?
Innuendos. Is it okay for $1? Is it okay to throw away all of that? America has to stand for a democratic community.
Right.
It has to stand for standards and values.
Right.
And I just want to know when that playbook changed.
Really?
And
Tell us.
Tell me that the playbook done changed.
Right.
Because somehow I believe that the playbook has changed.
Got to be.
It has to have changed when you have a person who we question the character.
That's right.
We question that leadership, and yet can be tied.
Exactly.
Still can pull 50% almost of the American people.
That's right.
Something has changed in America. Something has changed, and I just need to know whether or not we're talking about a culture change, whether we're talking about individuals who just think for themselves.
Right.
Because that's what you have.
Right.
You have a candidate who think of themselves and not think of America.
Right.
So is that where we are? And has been a conversation all across the board.
Right.
Is when has this changed in America?
What do you think would cause that, for people to be that non-educated on what they see, to say that it's okay? Well, we got 50% leaning toward all of that character change, leaning toward all of that change in the whole playbook, and you see it every time the mouth is open, but yet there's some people who are falling into that trap.
And some people tell me that it's the economics of everything. It's the economics. And I tell people, I said, now if you've had a 401k in the last 4 years, your 401k should have increased at least 20%, because the stock market has never been higher.
Thank you.
Never been higher.
Thank you.
We have had job increases. We've had wage increases. So we've had that. We've had to do some things after COVID.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It
After
changed
COVID,
a lot of things.
It changed a lot of things. And even if you take out the COVID issues and everything, we still have an economy that's churning.
That's right.
And we have a candidate in Kamala Harris that really want to focus on that middle class.
Right.
That really want to help people. You know, I'm a housing person.
Right. And she's
Okay.
even talking about helping people purchase
With
their
housing,
home.
you know that was one of the big initiatives that I had at the city of Pensacola, and I thank the council and the mayor and Mayor Reeves for taking on that challenge of housing.
Right.
And so we have a housing market that needs help.
Yes, we do.
We have a housing market that needs help.
Yes,
and
we do.
having a $25,000 extra down payment
Wouldn't
could
that be
mean
great?
Could mean the difference in that.
And owning a home or not.
Owning the home. When people talk about, he gave me $600. Well, this one is trying to give you
$25.
$25 and $50,000 for small business.
Thank you.
Because you only get $5,000.
But do you think there's a lack of education with our community? They don't know.
It may be a lack of education.
Right.
It may be because you remember, younger generations do not get information the same way that we
do.
received
That's
information years ago.
They are going to.
They're going to the Facebooks. They're going to the Twitters. They're going to these different information sources, which are not necessarily reputable information sources.
Exactly.
And so you need to be able to go to
a reliable
sources. And even with me, I'll look at the news on PBS because it's always good to see how other countries see America.
Thank you.
So if you haven't done that, you need to go ahead and do that. You need to go and look at some other sources that will give you difference of opinions about it. But we're in a fast-paced microwave world where we think we can get it in 2 or 3 minutes. This election is not about these quick, short nitbits. You got to get yourself educated. You got to understand, and you got to make a decision and choice based on a democratic America, not one based on division, not one based on hatred.
Exactly.
You know, when did we stop talking to each other and fearing putting a sign in your yard?
Exactly.
Let's be real here.
Exactly.
You have people, I can't put a sign in my yard. They going to tear it down or take it. I mean,
oh really?
When did America go that far? Because we've already, regardless of whether or not you're Republican or you're Democrat, we always could come together and we could talk.
I hope
that we could have a conversation, and we could talk. And like I tell people, you can talk about policy with me all day long, but you can't tell me leadership doesn't matter.
Thank you.
I'm not having it.
Exactly.
So you can talk about, well, this group don't supposed to have no money, and everybody because see, I grew up with a godmother and a parent where your success came by the sweat of your brow.
Oh God, no.
That's how it works.
That's how I grew up as well.
That's how it works. And so you can talk to me about policy, but don't tell me that leadership doesn't matter.
Right.
Because it matters for some and doesn't matter for others.
How are we going to get our community to understand just what we're talking about, the importance of all? I mean, if you don't have the knowledge, if you not even know that Vice President Harris is offering all of this, and I think some of them do not know it. I mean, like the small business, I think I was brought to, and I had to be one to say that I had to confess that they go straight to social media for the first thing they see, and they think that's total truth because it's so fabricated. Because you don't know, if you can't even tell when something has been edited, it jumps, and they do it the way they want to fix it. Do we need to educate our young people like the 18-year-olds? I mean, not only some of the young people, now we got some mature people thinking the same thing.
Oh yes. We have some of the mature individuals who think of it as the same way. I did want to mention too that involvement in your community. All politics is local. For our young people, you do not see the number of young people that you used to see in government. Even in involvement with organizations, because that's how you learn. So out there,
I agree.
Out there, if you are listening, make sure that you find a way to incorporate young people in their educational of politics and how it works, because it's totally once you get in it and you learn how it works and you learn this is the things that happen in there, you will be more educated. our young people cannot discern a lie.
Uh-huh.
This is to be real.
I agree.
They cannot discern the truth.
Not at all.
And so you have to be able to put things before them. Are you able to discern that this is a truth or this is a lie? You have to go get the facts, people.
Facts.
And the facts are out there. You just have to want it.
Amen. We got a call. Let's see who's got something for us today. Let's see here. Good morning.
Good morning, Sunshine. This is Ardelia. How y'all doing?
We're doing well, Ardelia.
I'm one of those people that were down in the dumps before Kamala Harris accepted the nomination.
Uh-huh.
But since then, I have really, really, really been on fire for the campaign. In fact, I'm doing some phone banking for her.
All right. That's it, Miss Ardelia.
That's it.
My enthusiasm is off the chain. You know, it's like she just breathed life back into us.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
She breathed
So-
life back into us.
So I understand why people were that reluctant to vote before she accepted the nomination.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying my best to get everybody I know enthused and encouraged to vote. So everyone just needs to do their part.
Absolutely, Miss Ardelia. I agree 150%.
Everybody needs to do their part.
I have some a Kamala Harris T-shirt that I wore to an event, right? And everybody that didn't look like me would say, "I like your shirt," but they would like whisper. You know, I said, "Well, you can say it loud, baby. You don't have to whisper."
Exactly. Say it loud and say it proud.
But it's like they kind of ashamed to show their enthusiasm.
Oh.
And I said, well, as long as you vote for her, okay, that's all we need. So I just wanted to let Miss Wynn know that she does an awesome job in everything she touches.
She put her hands on.
So that's all I had to say.
Thank you.
So
Thank
y'all
you.
have
Thank
a
you
good
so
rest
much,
of the
Miss
day.
Ardelia.
And you know I enjoy the program, okay?
Thank you, love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Everybody, please, if you've got something you want to say, because I tell you, that's Miss Ardelia, and I just love her with a perfect kind of love, because she's out there doing what it takes to make sure information gets out. Now, we are yet looking for volunteers, so we'll give you that number again when we come back. We got to go to commercial break, but let me say to my people that are viewing this show today, if you would like to be a part of this conversation, feel free. You don't have to worry about anybody doing anything, whether you're Republican or Democrat. We want to hear from you. 850-432-7768. Let's thank our sponsors again, coming up for the October 26th event. That is Making Strides for Breast Cancer, because Breast Cancer Month is October. And somewhere in your family, somebody's been affected by this horrible disease. So let's come out and support. Thanking all of our sponsors so far. We have Rise City Church. We have Sonny's Barbecue, Starworth Insurance Company. Thank you, Pastor. And of course, we've got Mr. Ron Helms for District 4. Thank you for being a sponsor. Stay close, and we'll be back with more right here on Sunshine's Corner.
You finally found the perfect car in Racing Blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car, because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going. More. No, stop!
Florida's near-total abortion ban outlaws abortion before many women even realize they're pregnant. The ban means many survivors of rape, incest, and human trafficking will be forced to carry their attacker's child against their will. Get the truth about Florida's near-total abortion ban.
Voting is important to me because I often think about my grandmother. It was a struggle for her to go downtown to become ready to vote. Now things have been made different because of their sacrifice. People work very hard to take your right to vote. I want you to work very hard this year to exercise your right to vote. you owe it to the future generation that's coming behind us. My name is Marcel Davis, and I want to encourage you to just vote.
Florida's near total abortion ban has no real exceptions for rape, incest, or the patient's health. This dangerous ban puts the lives, health, and future of women in Florida at risk. Get the truth about Florida's abortion ban.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
And welcome back to Sunshine's Corner. Thank you, Miss Ardelia, for calling in, because she's already working. She's working the phone banks to do her part. And listen, if you've got want to be a part of this show, I encourage you to please call us up. You can text as well, 850-432-7768. Let us hear what you're thinking. Let me hear what you're thinking if you're a Republican. Let me hear what you're thinking if you're a Democrat. Whatever it is, we just want to know where you are. And what we try to encourage everybody to do is to exercise your right to vote, to please. This is your God-given right. When you want to see change, if you want to be a part of making a decision, this is how you do it. You vote. And we were talking about the 18-year-olds because Mondays, which was October the 7th, was the end. You cannot register now.
No.
And it is utterly important. I hope that everybody have gotten those papers in order, got everything ready, and be ready to vote here in 27 days.
And if you did a request by mail ballot, make sure that you go ahead and complete that mail by that ballot. Get that ballot in. We also have early elections here in
starting up next week, right?
October 21st.
That's right.
October 21st. So, you know, when I talk to young people, there's no excuse. Even some of our people who are procrastinators, there is no excuse for you not to go out and vote, except for that you don't think it is a priority. It is a priority in a country that is a democratic country, and the validation of authority and power is through the vote. So that is where it is so important.
And no doubt, and you see, what I always like to bring to, and I try my best, because there's a young gentleman, his name is Dondre Wise. He's just registered to be a volunteer for the younger people with the Democratic Party.
Okay.
And he's out there trying to get, because he's running into the young people who are, that's why I bring this up, that are not educated on why it is important. I'm not going to, or I'm going to vote for him because he gave me $1. And that just causes me to trinkle. But the fact of it is, what we try to do now to give them the importance. And I want to bring up this as well. Project 2025 is nothing to play with, because that's a whole dictatorship. If you don't know anything else, I encourage you to pick out those and read it, because that's another reason you need to vote.
You need to vote. Again, a person will show you who they are.
Believe them the first time.
Believe them the first time. They will show you who they are. They will tell you who they are. And you need to listen. You need to observe. And our former president has told us who he is. Has shown us who he is. And shows us who he supports. He supports dictators. He supports self. You know, some people, I have even had people tell me, oh, he's just saying that for the election. He's just saying that for the election. I said, you need to remember a rule that I learned. A person will tell you who they are. And they will show you who they are.
Every time.
And they will often do that. And it is you that don't listen.
You got to believe it.
And you got to believe it.
You got to believe it.
You got to believe that that is what happened.
They can come to you with one way and saying this, saying that. But watch them. They've already told you.
They already told you. And it's not going to change.
They're not
going to change. And when you get in there and you have a dictator that wants to be and worry about themselves and want to dictate, wants to destroy the federal system altogether. One of the most important part of our federal system is our education system. And so fascist government, authoritative government, governments that deal in Nazism and all that. People may not like those words, but we need to be real.
That's right.
We need to be real, because they attack education.
That's right.
They will go after education because they want to mold you into a non-democratic posture.
Thank you.
And I think it is so important that you realize what is happening here. It's slow. It's not something that's immediate. A bomb doesn't drop on you. It's constantly taking away your education and remolding it so that our children will not have that thought pattern that they need to continue to have the greatest society in the world.
Exactly, and that's what because that's our next generation is the one that's going to be
the next generation. You
Come
know,
on now.
I mean, because right now, you know, they made President Biden, and I wanted to say a little something about President Biden. They made his age a factor.
Didn't they?
They made his age a factor, and doesn't make the other opponent's age a factor because
and they're
he's
only
old.
what, 2 or 3 years different,
Yeah,
right?
he's old. He's old. Let's be real. And so now you think about it, us and everything. You know, people are going to say, "Well, you're too old. You're too old." But young people, if you're not going out to participate in government, and you're not volunteering, and you're not stepping up to run for offices, local offices, and being a part of that, the generation that want to make that change, then you're going to have us, and you may have me continuing to run. I want you, the young person, to go out there and run and learn something from the experiences that we have had in society, so that we can to make a better America, a better Pensacola, a better Escambia County.
And you know, I was disappointed also when I found out that the turnout for the primaries was low, and but we got to make sure that with this general that's coming up, that we're not going to have that case again.
Oh yeah, not going to have that case, and so that's why they're knocking on the doors.
Right.
That's what phone calls. And citizens and voters out there, please do not get mad when you get multiple phone calls, or you get multiple texts, or you get multiple pieces of paper in the mail.
Right.
People just want to make sure that you are informed. Make sure you share that information with your young person in there as well. But getting back to President Biden, when President Biden and Ms. Adelia, when President Biden decided not to run, how many, that is a leader. That is a leader. That is the test of a true leader, a test of someone who's looking out for their country, who's looking out for their citizen, because all 325 million or so of us belong to the president.
Yes.
And so he looks out for us. And that's the greatest testament, because if we had some of them Congress folks
Lord have mercy.
that's in Congress and the legislature right now, that was half the leader
that he is.
We would have a more communicative, a more compromising Congress than we do right now.
Absolutely.
Because they're not looking out for themselves.
Right.
They're looking out for this country, for America.
And that's why we want to constantly reiterate the fact that you have to vote, because your vote, that's where the change will come. We can put the people in their office. It's up, we can take them out.
And we can take them out.
We can take them out. I mean, we'll say that we are the employer.
Yeah, we are the employer. The voter, you are. You should have an elected official that is responsive to you. An elected official, no matter what the party is, sees you as a part of their constituency.
Exactly.
They're going to help you. So you have to be comfortable with that. And again, this fear, the whisper that's in there,
like Miss Adelia said,
that she had said, people are. Where did we become afraid to stand for what we believed in? That was one of the greatest things about being an American.
Exactly. You had that opportunity.
You had that opportunity to stand for the issues that you believed in. And you didn't fear political retribution.
Right.
You didn't fear that. Okay. All right, we disagree. Let's go have some coffee.
Exactly. It's okay to disagree.
It's okay to disagree. But now we have this fear. And it's in there. It's an underlying thing, and it is uncomfortable.
But I think it's being planted by the former.
Yeah.
That's what he also, he implants this, imparts this negativity, non-love, in that, and some people are falling for that. Whereas, Vice President Kamala Harris brings joy. Joy, hope. You cannot have a society that don't have any hope. Absolutely.
It's just not going to work. We have to believe in a positive future. We have to believe that things are going to get better. We have to believe that things are going to be better for our children and for ourselves and for our country.
Right.
When you don't have that, we lose a lot, and we don't tend to exert ourselves. And it's the same thing with the vote. When people feel like my vote don't count, I'm going to stay home. It doesn't matter. I hear this now. If my vote don't count, will it matter?
Well, there's an election back here. It was won by 2 or 3 votes, right? That we talked about.
Yes,
earlier.
it was city council.
That was the
race.
city council. But I want to bring that up again because that's how important your vote is. You can be that deciding vote.
That deciding vote that makes that difference.
That makes that difference. You can be that one vote that makes that decision.
And so, and I tell my grandchildren, my grandbabies right now, not voting is not an option. It's not an option for me, but it's not an option for America.
Absolutely.
For an American society, for a democratic society, not voting is just not an option.
Right.
So you need to get up off that sofa and you need to go ahead and mail that mail-in ballot.
I agree.
But beginning on October 21st,
Absolutely.
you need to get up and you need to say, I am going to vote in this election and make a difference in our county, city, in our state, and in our nation, because we want to flip Florida. We want to flip Florida.
That's what I'm talking about. We want to flip it. I mean,
we want to flip Florida.
We're going to do it.
We're going to.
We got another call, got another question for us. Let's see who this is. Good morning.
Good morning, Sunshine. Happy Wednesday. How y'all doing on this hump day?
We are well.
Doing great.
Yes, I just want to call and thank y'all for spreading the good news, the good word. And we're going to fight like the team want to fight. We're going to fight, win this election.
That we are.
Right, the motto came out of the convention: when we fight, we win.
We win.
When we vote,
we win.
We win.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
And we want everybody to just grab this positivity that we are just sharing, that's so opening with you, that you can do this, that you can win this election. But we want everybody to just exercise your right. Don't think that you don't matter. You matter. You're the number one person matter. It doesn't matter about your education. It doesn't matter about your economic status. You are equal to anybody. Exactly.
You are equal to the millionaires and billionaires when it comes to that vote.
Most certainly you are.
You are equal, and you go out and you exercise that right to vote, and don't let no one stop you from doing that.
No doubt. And now we thank you for those encouraging words there, Eric.
Thank you. Y'all have a blessed day, and let's pray for our Floridians.
Yes,
absolutely. No doubt.
Absolutely.
All right, now. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And we had talked about that. I have never felt that when a disaster came, and I wanted to say that in Escambia County, in the city of Pensacola, in Northwest Florida, we are the most giving people in the world.
There are.
I have never seen or felt that people worried about the government helping them. And this is when you plant this seed of negativity. No one asks you whether or not you're Democrat or whether you're a Republican or whether you're an independent.
Right.
You are in need.
That's right.
And you
we
are
give
helped.
it to you.
And we give it. And this and to insert a political motive into FEMA and what it does. It degrades all of the love that we have for ourselves, each other in our community, because I've never seen no one say whether or not who you voted for, who you didn't vote for before they helped
when
you.
You're helping you.
We help.
That's it.
We help, and that's how it should be. And it should not be a political tool for anyone.
Don't use that as a political way. No, don't do it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are having a fantastic conversation here with Jewel Cannada-Wynn, and we are encouraging you to be a part of the conversation. I tell you, she's a wealth of information, and I just love to see that enthusiasm that's coming out of her. I'm sure you can feel it through the viewing audience. You can feel it as well. And I thank her for sharing that with us today. Stay with us. We're not done yet. We've got more coming to you, conversation-wise, right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Florida Constitutional Amendment 4 will save women's lives and protect their reproductive freedoms. It ensures doctors can provide life-saving emergency care to women. 65% of Floridians support abortion rights, and Amendment 4 was put on the ballot following a citizen-led initiative. Despite this, politicians in Tallahassee approved a draconian 6-week abortion ban, which denies women reproductive freedom. Stand up for women's reproductive rights. Stand up for democracy. Vote yes on Amendment 4 this November.
Gilmarine, your one-stop shop for all your boating needs. We offer a vast selection of parts, accessories, and electronics. Discover our range of used boats in every size, shape, and brand, all ready to get you on the water today. And we provide expert advice and top-notch customer service to ensure you have the best boating experience. We service all outboard, inboards, stern drives, jet drives, and personal watercraft. Our certified staff will get you back on the water. Visit Gilmarine at 3541 West Fairfield Drive, Pensacola.
Let's work together to end breast cancer. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Blap TV and Sunshine's Corner, we're joining this year's annual Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk, and we want you to join us. Making Strides is happening on Saturday, October 26th, Seville Square, 8 a.m. A big thank you to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. And we can't end breast cancer without you. I'll see you there.
My father told us he paid the cost to be the boss, which meant whatever he told you to do, you better do. So we were told you must vote. He would sit us down at a round table and go over the reasons why you needed to vote, why it was so important, that he fought for us to make sure that we could vote and that we were to fight for ourselves and for his grandchildren. My name is Jill Lewis-Staggs. I am the state committee woman for Okaloosa County, and I'm here to tell you, just vote.
And welcome back to the Wednesday edition of Sunshine's Corner. We are having a fantastic conversation because I believe that conversation, when we can talk to each other, it's okay that you may not agree with me, but can't we have an adult conversation about whatever it is that we're talking about?
Yes.
And you go ahead and listen. You don't have to hate me because we don't think on the same line, but the fact of it is, this is what's being thrown out at us, and I think that's why people are doing it, because I see things now that I used to hear my mother and father talk about. Mm-hmm. I mean, the way the separation is, how it's being pushed right now. And I also say, I feel like this too, Jewel, that I think there was just some things that were covered up on the inside. Mm-hmm. And now they're just really coming out.
And they were covered up. Because again, you don't have the conversation about differences.
Exactly.
You don't really have the conversation whether it's about race, whether it's about ethnicity. You really don't have those type of conversations. And those conversations are not presented in school. And you know right now,
they're trying
in
to
the state of Florida,
oh God, yes.
you know, it's hard to talk about, you know, African American studies in our communities.
Which is so wrong.
But what I did want to go back to is this unity for us as a community.
Right.
We can be unity, you know, when America is threatened, we all come together and we all fight and we're all there. And then when we come back home, we kind of like fall apart and fall into our little cliques. And we don't want to come into unity. And I think for us as African Americans, that unity has been our #1 strength through slavery, through everything that we have gone through. It is that unity. I wanted to mention a person that I listened to at the convention was Representative Jasmine Crockett.
Ooh, that's my girl.
Ooh, that's my girl. She's a firecracker. And if you not on fire,
I tell you,
when you walk in now, you're going to have chills by the time you leave.
Just mention it because I just love the way she just... She's open.
And she's open about the, you know, the commitment that we need to have in our community in standing up. When she was there, she also had her pastor there. You know, her pastor
He came to with the convention?
He was at the convention. He was at one of the caucuses. Her pastor was there. And one of the things that he mentioned in his talk was that Jesus is justice.
Yes, Lord.
For us in our community, Jesus is justice.
Yes, Lord.
And we have to come together as a community to understand that even though we love Jesus and we know and we want to go to heaven, that we have to have justice right here on earth. We have to be able to depart that here. Our minister, the leadership for African American communities, is a part of that leadership is our spiritual leaders.
Exactly.
Our spiritual leaders have to stand for justice for us. They can't be quiet.
That's right.
They can't worry about their 501c3s.
Come on.
They can't do that. They need to stand up for justice because they want our tithing dollars when we get ready to come in there.
That's right.
Our businesses are not treating us fairly. We don't take it. We need for them to stand up And we need to remember that Jesus is justice.
Do you think our local clergy is fearful of just the things you said, that if they stand up and speak out loudly, everybody, that they're going to lose some of the things they have?
It is totally disunity, and I'm
That's
just
all.
going to call it out.
Please.
I need to just call it out here. You know,
That's right.
It is disunity. It is this, okay, we're going to stay here. There was nothing wrong with calling out and saying that people needed to vote. Martin Luther King did it.
Didn't he do it?
Reverend Ralph Abernathy did it.
Didn't he do it?
So there's nothing wrong with calling out these injustices that impacts our community. And when you have a community, which is the strong, first of all, the Black church has the most property in America.
Come on.
Okay? We have churches. We are not poor. We are wealth.
Amen.
Simply by the fact of our buildings and structure and the money that we send through there all the time. We need to be able to stand and have our leadership stand for us in justice. Call out the vote. Call out inequality.
That's right.
Call out the lack of leadership.
That's right.
Because when they are silent,
that's right. Then you are silent. There you go. And I think when you're silent too, you're in agreement with everything else that's going on that's negative. I'm just going to be
because it is. So I think that when you do not have a community that comes together on an agenda, that comes together and said these are the things that we need to work on, you do not create that superpower we are.
Absolutely.
You do not create the superpower.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that I was told as an elected official is that you should have known this was going to happen. You should have known this was going to happen. And I said, and I felt that I was always very attuned because I had town hall meetings and everything.
Yes.
And I said, no, I don't know that was going on. Because if you don't come to me and you don't come and tell me and say, Jewel, this is what, how can I know? And then when you come together, and we are cliquish here in Pensacola.
Oh God,
I'm just going to talk about. I'm just going to tell you for real now. We are very cliquish.
I'm big time. I've seen it myself.
We are very cliquish here in Pensacola. So if you don't support this group, and I don't support that group, and they don't support this group, and I don't go to that church, and I just thought hell was one place and heaven was one. I didn't think it was all different places.
Exactly.
Okay. So I'm just saying
Jesus is justice.
Jesus is justice.
I'm telling you.
Jesus is justice. And I feel that because of some of these dynamics that go on in our community, that we have not come together to form that power to make the change that we need to make.
And listen, everybody, look, and she nailed it on the head. I mean, I love that. I'm going to be using that Jesus is justice, okay? I love that. For those who are in this community and you know that there are things that needs to be taken care of, somebody's got to stand up.
Somebody got to stand up.
Someone has to stand up. Because I mean, if you know what's going on, and let's not have it whereas we can say that we've got these certain cliques over here, you got the certain clique over here. And also I want to touch this too, because what I want to say to, even to all communities, not only the people of color, you don't say to me, I hate when a person comes to me and say, yo, or that, the way you all do this, or that. We are one of the smarter people ever. Yeah. We are the most educated species there is. I'm just telling it like it is.
All right, and just don't talk about
read up on it. We're trying to be portrayed as the one that don't have.
Don't have. The ignorant ones.
The ignorant ones.
We don't have a middle class. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
We have a middle class.
Yes, we do. And all of this, see now, what we're trying to get you to understand is, I just want you to really take this today and think about it. You've got the power, that superpower, to make change.
To make a change. And if you want to make that change, and if you want to change policy, many times because citizens don't come in when the policy making process comes, we wait until it gets ready for the vote.
There you go.
And then you come with the vote, and we done had 35 meetings.
Thank you.
We done had 35 meetings, different places all over the town and everything to get your input. And suddenly now it's you have not considered this and you have not considered that. We need to be players in our community.
That's right.
We need to be players in a community. And one of those important players in the community is participating in your committees, but making sure that you vote.
Absolutely.
Making sure that your vote's heard and making sure that you're a part of that. I know that I have just been rejuvenated with the Kamala Harris campaign. I see hope for our community. I see hope for Florida because after the presidential race, we got to deal with Florida. We got to elect a new governor.
Don't you know it?
We got to elect governor, and we got to put legislators in the legislature that are going to listen to us.
Exactly.
And so
not
Florida's
being
coming.
Told what they want you to do.
Right.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
And I tell you, Jewel, I could talk to you all day. I mean, this hour has gone by so quick. I could just sit here and talk to you all day, because when I see a person that's energetic, that's enthusiastic, and real about what he or she may be doing, and what their beliefs are, to try to get you to understand who you are, the power that's within you, that you are great within yourself.
Yes.
I can just sit and talk to a person like that all day, and that's what you have brought to the table. I mean, and I just can't say thank you enough. But the closer you get, I'm going to have to call you back.
You always call me back. I'm always available. I do want to remind people that the Kamala Harris campaign is on 8800 University Parkway. You're going to take a right on Constitution. You got signs to take us there. We love you. We'll find a place for you. We have lots and lots of things to do. Our telephone number is 850-631-1682. It's our telephone number. You can always call. We can direct you. We have plenty of signs. Come on and get your free signs. We love you and look forward to winning on November 5th.
Ooh, 27 days. Ooh, I tell you, she said a mouthful. But listen, guys, it is just about time for us to get out of here. But I want to remind you, please, now, if you did not get the opportunity, you know somebody that want to hear this fantastic show, it will be on again this afternoon at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
So therefore, if you are at work and cannot sit there, you'll get so caught up, make sure you tune in this afternoon and watch this show at 6 o'clock and tell somebody when you want to hear the truth, you'll hear it on Sunshine's Corner. I've got to leave you as I do every single day, my dear friends, because I believe this deeply in my heart. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Always remember, if you keep God first, stay focused, I guarantee you, you're going to be a total success. So until tomorrow morning for another day of information and nothing but sunshine, know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep right on shining while I'm gone. And thank you so much for all that you do. Jewel, Cannada-Wynn.
Thank you.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.